The first flowers of spring turn our attentions to outdoors, and in particular our very own backyards. Chris Kaiser, the turf mutt himself, is back with backyard wisdom. Good morning.
Good morning. Good to be back.
Well, it is spring, and we are thinking more and more about getting our yards ready. What is the magic about our backyards? And that's my first question. And second, did the pandemic drive us to pay more attention to our backyards?
Absolutely. It just reinforced how important it is to the family and to our exercising and to getting outdoors and reconnecting with nature. It really did drive the criticality of that outdoors and to help us reconnect to it. And we're seeing a lot of activity. We just did a Harris poll in that space, and so we got to understand really hard data on how important the yard is to family.
So let's talk about some of the ways that people are using their backyard that might be surprising.
First and foremost, an office. I've got an office outdoors. Normally, I'd be there right now. So office space, workout space. Some people want an active backyard. Some people want sort of a zen environment. So a lot of folks are sort of turning into landscapers. And you can tailor nature to your specific needs. Do you have kids? Do you have dogs? Do you want a staycation, fire pit, you name it? That's what we're seeing. Are people making the investments they need to turn that space into, whether it's recreation space, workspace, office space, you name it.
So what about the folks who maybe don't have a generous backyard, but a patio or a little green space? What advice can you give them to make their space what they want it to be?
Absolutely, and it doesn't take much, right? You can have a planter on a windowsill and put a butterfly bush in it, and you'll get butterflies. That's the other thing we really want to help people understand is connect yourself to nature at the same time you're connecting yourself to the outdoors. Because that's flowering plants for pollinator sport, bees, birds, butterflies. It doesn't take much. It can take just a flowering plant in a pot, or a butterfly bush. And so again, take that space and tailor it for your needs. Get outdoors.
Well, for the folks who maybe fantasize that they have some green thumb, is there some guides that you could give them if they're really starting this for the first time and want to have a lovely backyard?
Absolutely. There's lots of stuff, of course, online. You can go to your garden center, seek some advice there. If you know a landscape contractor, Google, you can pretty much find anything. What's important is you find the right plants for your zone. Know your zone, know your region, so that you're putting in appropriate plants. That way, once they're established, they won't need supplemental water. They'll give you the flowers you want. Be mindful of your sun. Lots and lots of plants are shade tolerant or sun tolerant. You want to make sure you get the right ones, and that's an easy Google find.
Chris, we have a good bit of conversation going on in the tri-state about the using indigenous plants only. Do you have a comment about that?
Well, the challenge becomes we oftentimes live in a man-made world, and so you only want, some folks will say, well, we only want native plants for this particular region. But plants are also purposeful. So if you've got a Walmart parking lot, right, or an urban environment, some natives might not survive. And so what you'll want to put at the end of the drive or the end of a parking lot are plants that might help slow runoff, absorb rainwater. Plants have become very, very purposeful. Do you want privacy? Do you need screening? What are the appropriate plants that'll do that? The challenge becomes, if you're especially in an urban environment, it's a man-made environment. So you need to find those plants that may be hybrids that are now introduced for a particular purpose.
Sounds good, Chris. Thank you so much for being with us.
Always a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
We'll be back with more local lifestyles right after this.